This is Movietone. Lionel Gamlin reporting. During the occupation of Paris, a French cameraman, Gaston Madru, decided that he was going to take pictures, Boche or no Boche. This was one of his devices for fooling the Gestapo, a camera hidden among bottles in his bicycle basket. The idea of the bottles was to multiply what might otherwise have been a single reflection from the camera lens. This was only one method adopted by Madru, but he certainly must have got a kick out of cycling round Paris making film notes of how the city looked under Boche rule. On the surface, much the same, however sick at heart Parisians may have felt. Special places of entertainment were reserved for German soldiers, including cinemas, where we may be sure they fairly lapped up German propaganda. Outwardly, Paris looked much as usual, except, of course, for queues and bicycles everywhere. And all over the city, from the Rue de Rivoli to Montmartre, the crooked cross was present as a constant reminder. These shots were taken at the Place de l'Opéra in 1942. In fact, most of this film was shot that year or the next, during that long period when liberation must have seemed very far off to the Parisians. Madru went to the races at Longchamp. So did the Boche, though they were unaware that this record of their attendance was being made. Outwardly, all was calm and correct, though we know well enough what was going on beneath the surface. A ceremony at the Invalides in 1943 was attended by de Brinon, Deat and de Chambrun, somewhere in the background behind the Huns. And Madru also obtained this glimpse of members of the French Legion formed to fight against the Russians. The year before, the ceremony at the unknown soldier's tomb was attended by the Boche. Again, it was apparently all very correct, but there was a certain amount of rioting afterwards in the Champs-Élysées. It's hardly surprising that there were riots from time to time, what with Laval and company visiting Paris. Madru took this shot of him arriving from Berlin with some of his German friends. Finally, we can imagine the tense excitement in Paris, still outwardly calm, when the Hun was being beaten in the Battle of Normandy. Parisians saw the German lorries on their way through to the front. And Parisians watched, and counted, I expect, the Red Cross ambulances coming back from the front. The story ends where the pictures of the FFI's great fight for Paris began. The Boche and his weapons were being beaten and destroyed in Paris by the people of Paris. And the first liberation notices announcing the end of the occupation restored the freedom of Paris to all her citizens. More pictures of